Welcome to Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible, where I pull from Warhammer 40k lore to help explain biblical lore. And today we're going to be going over the rogue traders. And before we get into the video, take the wikis with a grain of salt, as some stuff has been retconned. It's just a good basis for the biblical content as well. I do regular biblical videos. If that's not your thing, those are on Mondays and Tuesdays when I can. But every Thursday is Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible, and then Saturdays and Sundays is more Warhammer 40k content. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. So the Rogue Traders, originally called Rogue Traders Militant during the era of the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, are unique and powerful human individuals who serve as a combination freelance explorer, conquistador, and interstellar merchant for the Imperium of Man. They are hereditary imperial servants and nobles, given a starship, a crew, and sometimes a contingent of space marines in very rare cases, or troops of the Astra Militarum, or mercenaries and carte blanche to roam those worlds of the galaxy that still lie beyond the imperial control or knowledge, or blanc, sorry. Gotta remember my Spanish here, or Latin I should say, in their task of exploring and exploiting the still uncharted regions of the galaxy for mankind. Rogue traders might come across worlds harboring long-forgotten human civilizations, which will be later incorporated into the Imperium by official Adeptus Mechanicus explorator fleets and expeditions of the Imperial Navy and Astra Militarum. Other times, they find empty or alien-dominated planets ripe for colonization, conquest, or exploitation by the Imperium and themselves. The bearer of a sacred warrant of trade that empowers them to journey beyond the boundaries of the Imperium to trade, explore, and make war in the God Emperor's name. A rogue trader is a unique figure in the grim darkness of the Imperium. They may be newly entitled power, on the rise, or hail from a long dynastic lineage of nobles and voidfarers, but all bear their titles and pride, striking out into the unknown in search of fortune and glory. A rogue trader is a power unto themselves in the dark voids, master of all they survey, at least as far as their force of arms and sharpness of wits can press the claim. A rogue trader can be many things, but whether standing as a diplomat before a planetary ruler, cutting a shadowed deal in a void station undercity, bellowing orders amidst an armed host set upon plunder, or striding the bridge of a mighty starship, they remain one thing above all: free. Often, rogue traders come from a dynasty of great leaders and visionary military commanders, with a renowned or darkly infamous lineage stretching back standard millennia. Other times, they are from younger, more dynamic families, often coming from the ranks of the Adeptus Terra, the Imperial Navy, or the Astra Militarum. Whatever their origins, all rogue traders are first and foremost masters of their own fates, a rare thing in the Imperium of the 41st millennium, and upon their shoulders can rest the success or failure not only of their endeavors and their bloodlines, but of countless future generations, and often the fortunes of the entire worlds. Become a servitor today. Anyway, sorry. Despite the fact that the weight of such responsibility is theirs to bear alone, a rogue trader invariably surrounds themselves with a coterie of allies and retainers. No rogue trader can undertake their mission alone, for no man or woman can be master of every single aspect of trade, exploration, exploitation, and war. As a result, All the most successful rogue traders have ingrained ability to recognize the value of others and their motivations, and as a leader, or able to utilize every weapon and ability in human arsenal to their full potential. Though they must rely on others for the most specialized of skills, not mentioned as certain needful resources, it falls to the rogue trader to know how and when to exercise their own judgment and how to delegate where needed. They may not steer the helm of their void ship nor fire and aim every macro cannon in person, but the rogue trader selects and commands those who do, and it is their orders that are obeyed. Likewise, they may know little of the arcane rites of the augur and auspex, but it is ultimately their decision whether or not to trust the world of the Mechanicus Explorator, or who claims it's safe to breathe the air of a newly discovered world. Rogue traders must always look to their own abilities and protection, regardless of the power of their allies, for there will always be those envious of their power and station, and countless rivals to their goals. As a result, most have a penchant for their very finest personal weapons and equipment their fortunes can acquire. For even friends can soon become enemies when a world's ransom is at stake. Can I have some of that loot, please, so I can pay some bills? Anyways, some never leave their bridge without donning an ancient and revered suit of the artificer armor, resized for a mere mortal's frame, while others secret, fiendishly cunning personal force field generators of alien manufacture beneath a gaudy uniform. None are ever unarmed, bearing, even aboard their own vessels, minute digital weapons and other implements of destruction. By the way, if you don't know, digital weapons are just, finger weapons, hand weapons and stuff, but I think they're, weapons with the fingers. That's why, but anyways. However they outwardly comport themselves, rogue traders must be supremely confident in their own abilities and able to walk away from even the most desperate situation, somehow having profited from their perilous adventure, even if that profit must be counted purely by their survival. Okay. Now we're going to get into a little bit of the history here. The origins. The rogue traders had their origins in the demands of the early days of the Great Crusade of the late 30th millennium. Driven by the will of the Emperor, the first expeditionary fleets of the Crusade pushed outwards into the galaxy. Preceding each great expeditionary fleet of hundreds, sometimes thousands, of vessels, with ranged smaller contingents of independent flotillas led by a class of martial leader that would become known as the Rogue Traders Militant. Many of these individuals were former rulers of the numerous realms of the Emperor had cast down first during the Unification Wars on Terra, and later, as the Great Crusade spread, formerly independent human colony worlds. They were offered a stark choice: bend the knee before the Emperor and swear service to the Great Crusade, or die by his hand. Though many set pride before what they regarded as slavery, others chose service and took up the Emperor's warrant of trade. There was a price, however. There always is. The Rogue Traders Militant were expected to scout ahead of the leading edge of the Great Crusade, accompanied by their own armies as well as whatever assets had been ceded them by the Emperor. Operating so far ahead of the Emperor's Crusade armies, the Rogue Traders Militant could expect little or no aid should they encounter foes too powerful for them to overcome. After several solar decades penetrating the inky black of the void, Rogue Trader militant fleets often appeared as ramshackle vagabonds, many of their starships taken from defeated enemies, sometimes including Xenos vessels of entirely novel or esoteric form. They were forbidden to return to Terra, for in his wisdom the Emperor sought not to just rid himself of powerful rivals, but to ensure that even in their deaths they might serve mankind. Many vanished alone and unheralded, slain, consumed, or enslaved by nameless Xenos abominations far from the light of Terra. Alright, so we're going to move on to the biblical section, and then after that we'll come back to Warhammer a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to start with Nahum 3:16. Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. That's interesting. The cankerworm spoileth and fleeth away. So that is a very interesting statement there. The merchants above the stars of heaven. So I'll let you guys think on that what you will. So Isaiah 60:8. Who are these that fly as a cloud, and as the dove to their windows? That's interesting as well. There's many more verses kind of like this too as well. Now, this is kind of the one, everybody's kind of heard this, right? The Tyre, Tyre and Tyrus, the Prince of Tyrus and the Prince of Tyre. So Ezekiel 28:4-5, my goodness. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. So there's a lot of misconceptions about this whole chapter here, right? So if you haven't watched my content, this isn't talking about Satan, right? And a regular human, right? This is Lucifer. And Lucifer is a man, by the way, which is interesting. And he's not Satan. So, Son of man, say unto the Prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, which is very interesting. Okay. I'm bringing this up for a reason. So, hold on a second. Just want to show you. So you have verse 12. This is Isaiah 14. I just did this in the video I just did Monday. But okay, how wilt thou fall from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How wilt thou cut down to the ground? Okay. Thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Interesting. I will sit also upon the mount of congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Sounds very familiar, doesn't it? But now, ready? This is the kicker. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So we haven't been taught right on that. Just letting you know. Yeah. So now this is a different character here. So Ezekiel 28:16. By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast thee as a profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Okay. If you guys want to watch some of my content on that this is still not Satan here. Anyways, so now we're going to get into the merchant prince. Yeah. Rogue traders are entirely consumed by the quest for riches, gained not by the crude application of threats or violence, but the shrewdly negotiated contract. The merchant prince seeks to establish the most lucrative of trading contracts, ensuring that the other party benefits from the deal, but not nearly as much as they do. Merchant prince rogue traders will go to great lengths to avoid military action, believing it is a waste of resources. Yet they have no qualms about employing the trappings of military power as an aid to the diplomatic or commercial negotiations when necessary. Furthermore, no rogue trader would be so foolish as to neglect the defense of their assets, and the merchant prince understands the value of their resource better than most. They will as such take great steps to protect their investment against competitors and pirates and maintain the very best personal guards. The merchant rogue trader seeks to establish vast networks of profit, negotiating exclusive trading rights throughout the regions they explore. This is an occasion landed such individuals in conflict with the Imperium's authorities, as the rogue trader trades with the aliens they should destroy or allow long lost human civilizations to remain lost to all bar them so that they have exclusive access to the archaeotech that is so valued by the Adeptus Mechanicus and coveted by the idle rich of the Imperium's noble houses. Oh, I guess I should probably, since I said that. So I'll show you who Satan is, what he is. I better put that up there. Okay, so this is the Strongs for Seraphim. They are mentioned in the Bible. It is a fiery serpent. And what is Satan called? The old serpent, the dragon, right? So, there you go. But anyways, that ended up being a little too much time there, but anyways, it's alright. So thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.